Hey there, welcome back to my home and my channel. Today, or this week, I really want to tackle a few organization problems, projects, situations in my house that just need a little bit of attention. One of them is two of my daughters have a pretty nice sized bedroom in this old farmhouse, but the closet is really small in comparison to the bedroom, and it just needs a little bit of tender loving care. It just needs a little bit of my help to make it run a little better for them. They've just been having issues with where to put their pants and some other things. So we're going to tackle that today. And then I have a few other little areas in the house that I want to look at Ikea, because that is where we're going to be heading to help us out with some organization stuff. I have definitely shared Ikea hacks in the past, and also on my second channel. This is my main channel here. On my second channel, there's lots of organization there as well. But Ikea has so many different tools and hacks and great ideas for rooms without closets or very little storage space. And their stuff is very affordable. So we're gonna take a little trip to Ikea. It's a few hours away for me. Don't live super close, but it's totally worth it. And I also want to scope out a few other furniture pieces that I may be going back to get for some different areas in the house as well. So let's take a trip to Ikea. If you've never been, this will be interesting for you and may inspire you to find your nearest Ikea as well. If you've been around for a while, then you know that Ikea is a place that I have found many things for DIY projects and home goods for years. Through the different houses that we've lived in, we've had plenty of Ikea's furniture and other things throughout our home. If you've never been to Ikea, basically the way that it's set up is the top floor generally has a layout of different rooms in homes. So it could be closets, it could be kitchens, it could be bedrooms, it could be living rooms, and it just gives you ideas and inspiration on how you can organize your home with Ikea's different furnishings and things like that. So as we walked through the top section, I really was inspired by all the open shelving. This type of shelving unit with the wood, I love the way it looks. It's so functional, and they're nice and deep to where you can put bins and other things like that on them. I still would love to find a place somewhere in our home or possibly our next home to use this type of setup. I just think it's so useful and so soft and appealing to the eye. The other thing I noticed that's really trending with Ikea is lots and lots of hook space, so places to hang things and really making use of wall space, which we'll get to a little later in this. But as we were strolling around, it wasn't long and my daughters were quickly really hungry, so we love to stop and get their Swedish meatballs. There is generally a restaurant located in Ikea, and you can get a good meal in the middle of all of your shopping. And because of the size of the store, it usually takes us about, I would say, 2 to 3 hours to go through the store, both the top floor and bottom floor, the warehouse area. And so it's always nice to stop and get a bite to eat. So one of the things that I was really looking into was their bookcases. I've mentioned this before, but in our homeschool space, I really would like to replace some of the bookcases that we have that are a little more cheaply made. So I was looking at the different styles of bookcases, the pricing, and just seeing things that may work for storage. I kind of like the combination storage of a drawer system, potentially on the bottom along with the bookcases, just to store like craft supplies and things like that in our schoolroom. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I definitely came home with several ideas of how we could lay out our schoolroom. One of them is putting these glass doors on the more inexpensive bookshelves. I actually have this particular bookshelf in white, I don't have the glass doors on it. So I could easily purchase the glass doors and really elevate a more inexpensive bookshelf. So that is one idea. There is just several different lines of bookshelves that you can really customize and make very modular to your space. And I also noticed they had quite a few new baskets or lines of baskets since the last time I was here. You all know how much I love bins and baskets to organize almost any space in my home. It just gives a nice warm, homey feeling in your organization. There was also several pieces of new furniture that I had not seen before. And then this is that same glass door idea on the navy bookshelf, which I thought that was so pretty. They also had quite a few different cabinets that would work as standing pantries. I know so many of you have commented on my pantry organization videos and said, I wish I had a space like this. I wish that I had a place to store things. And the really cool thing with Ikea is they give you basically standalone pantries at such an affordable price, and you're able to really get your organization in without having to have something built in, which is so renter friendly. I'm all about renter friendly hacks, and Ikea is there for it for sure. And I've mentioned this before, but they are also super focused in on small spaces. So basically making the best of small spaces, which you all know I've been talking about that for like years. There's been many small spaces, including a tiny home that I've lived in and organized, and it is doable. You can make any space work for you and your needs. It just takes a little creativity, a little outside of the box thinking, and I think that Ikea really feeds into that. So we were strolling through a lot of the kitchen spaces, and we were having a lot of fun just opening up cabinets. That's how Ikea has things laid out in their kitchen spaces, is you can go through, you can open up a cabinet, you can get ideas of how you could use some of their organizing tools in a space similar to yours. They also have super cheap flip top jars. You all know they're one of my favorite things right now in my pantry, and this is a good place to stock up on them without breaking the bank. And you can actually completely design a kitchen at Ikea. One thing I've noticed is they are big on using open shelving even in the kitchen spaces. Yes, in places like garages and other things like that, but you can use that vertical space that goes really high if you have higher ceilings and maximize your storage that way as well. But if you design a kitchen at Ikea, they have lots of little goodies and things that are specifically made for their cabinets to organize. I know I've said through the years I would love to use Ikea in a flip house or just simply in our own home. I definitely haven't yet, but I could see that be something in my future. This area with these black shelves really reminded me of a great food storage option. I know a lot of you have seen different ways I've done food storage in our cellar, and these types of shelving would work so well for something like that, particularly with it being a metal style shelving. You know, it's going to really keep things clean and tidy for sure, and it's going to last for a long time. So going back to the wall space, this area always intrigues me, and someday I'm going to invest in some of these rails. They have so many accessories. It's so customizable. You can use this in a bathroom, a kitchen, a kid's bedroom, and they are kind of a system of rods and hooks and storage buckets, cups, baskets, different things, even shelving that can attach to this very pole rod type organization. I am just so fascinated by it, and I want to find a space to use it in. They had a lot of new little goodies here and there, one of them being this sort of gold shaded cart. This is more of like a mini cart. This would work so well at the end of a couch if you needed an extra little place to set your drink or something like that. Another thing that is a great price at Ikea is their smaller island style carts and tables. I know that there's been different times I've had this style prep table. I love a good island or prep table. You already know that. You guys see a lot of that in my meal prep style videos. But here you can get them for a super affordable price that definitely beats out a lot of the prices I have seen on Amazon, and they are great quality. So if you are in the market for a little island or something like that, definitely check it out. Something else that I have utilized through the years, my mom has as well, other family members have as well, is the very extensive drawer organizing systems that Ikea has. All you have to do is come in with your drawer measurements in your kitchen, and you can quickly find the types of organizers and dividers that you would need for your drawers. And they have a great range of prices on this. You know, some of them are wooden, a little more high end, and then you have just simple plastic organizers and dividers that can meet any budget, which I think is really cool. They make it very feasible for anyone to organize their space. Something else that I've used in the past, and you all have seen me use, in fact, I'm now remembering that I think I used these in our first home. They are like shelf risers to where you can kind of divide your space in your upper cabinets and lower cabinets, but particularly in your upper cabinets, and they have so many different sizes to where you can find any type of riser for any size cabinet, and they're just really clean and attractive looking. Now you guys see me use these market bags. I call them market bags, but they're sort of a cotton woven tote bag, and I noticed they had this beautiful dark green color. I didn't snag it this time, but definitely keeping it in mind for my next Ikea visit. And we are also looking to get a larger dining table. Where we lived previously, we didn't have very much space for a dining table, and now we have an actual dining room. So I did look at their dining tables. Honestly, I didn't really find anything that piqued my interest. I think I'm gonna end up doing a DIY where I get an older table, a good solid wooden table, and repaint it or sand it down. So that's kind of what I have in mind for the dining table project. And we also took a nice little stroll through all of their closet organization stuff. This is another place, just like the kitchen, where you can come in and design your closet and what you would want to put into it. Literally so customizable, like so customizable to what you have in your wardrobe and what you like to put into your closet, whether it's beyond clothing, drawers and hangers and shelving and all types of things like that. Also at very different price ranges, so you could look at whatever fits best into your budget. And then the next section we hit up was the bedding section. I feel like they've really expanded this. This has gotten pretty large, and they have some really beautiful linens that we will see more of here in a minute. But I noticed they have quite a variety of side tables, end tables, nightstands, whatever you like to call these little things that sit next to a bed or a sofa, and quite a few of them are made from real wood, which is so great to see. There is just a lack of real wood furniture in our world right now. And they had this little display in the sleeping mattress section of these phones that my daughters had fun with. Now, let's say that you live in a place with no closets, which the previous home that we just moved from had very little to no closets. And that was really a challenge. Well, IKEA has very many wardrobe standalone type cabinets / closets that work so well in any type of space. I also love how they have this whole section on entryway furniture and organization and storage solutions, places to store shoes. Even if you don't have a mudroom or you don't have a true entryway, you could put this next to your door It's just, they have a solution for all of your organization and home problems, I promise. The next section we hit up, my daughters really enjoyed looking around. This is the kids' room section. And I think if you are a parent, you know the struggle is absolutely real when it comes to kids' stuff, whether it's clothes, toys, whatever it is. They can be a real struggle. And so they have many different options, whether you're looking for under the bed storage or vertical storage, shelving, and those types of things is perfect. This is the kind of kids linen and bedding area. Again, it is so big and also really affordable, which is nice. You can get all kinds of prints and themes, and I noticed that they really have a woodland type theme going on right now with a lot of their kids' room things, the storage and the bedding, and it's so cute. We've got hedgehogs and little wildflowers and just soft and tender things, which is so what I gravitate towards in my home and for my kids as well. And it's just cute and so calming and peaceful. And I know that it is pretty affordable for the most part. They have a section that does include toys, and some of them are really educational toys, which I love. They've got some tents and things like that, and these things will change up sometimes with the different themes that come through IKEA, depending on what, their specialty is for that season. And so I've seen different types of the little pop-up tents through the years, and they have a big variety of stuffed animals. They've got markers and art supplies and kids' dishes. They also have a big baby area with cribs and high chairs and things like that. This little canister set just drew my attention. I already am so drawn to warm colors, and that is a new one. I have not seen that before. They have a pretty large glassware section that includes dishes, cups, pitchers, vases, or vases, I guess, as some people would say. And then going along with the linen type line of things, they also have a large variety of throw blankets in a large variety of materials. So I've seen some wool things, some linen things, cotton type materials, and I love that this is a great resource if you want a more inexpensive material like polyester or something like that, or if you want to amp it up and do something like wool. They have such a big variety of all of these things. I've also gotten a lot of pillow covers and curtains from IKEA through the years for different homes that we have lived in. They have cookware utensils, they have different home items, and they also have lots and lots of hampers and baskets, which we'll hit up the basket section here as well. But one of the things that we use the most in our house from IKEA is a very large double hamper where it has 2 compartments. I think you all, if you've been around a while, remember that it was in the bathroom of our previous home because the bedrooms were so small that we couldn't have a hamper in each bedroom. So being able to have a really large double hamper in the bathroom kind of solved that solution. So here you're seeing the large variety of woven baskets that IKEA carries. This is something that has grown and expanded through the years, at least in my opinion. They have definitely added to this collection of baskets a whole lot, and I just think that it's such a great outlet to get something of quality for your home, and they have every size and shape that you could possibly think of. Along with woven baskets, they also have quite a few metal storage solutions. So they have some metal boxes, and then they also have metal baskets that I would call them sort of like a market basket. Works great for kids stuff, crafty stuff, where if you had something like paint dump into a woven basket, it's going to stain it. It's going to be really hard to get the stains out, but if you have something metal, it's much easier to wash up. And then they also have a line of wooden crates as well. So if you're looking for something that can hold a lot more weight, the wooden crates are a great solution for that. Every time I come to Ikea, I always admire these laundry baskets or blanket baskets if you wanted to use them for that as well. And they're just beautiful. I have enough baskets that size right now, but had to add that in. The next section that we hit up was the lighting section, and this area is always so beautiful to me. They have so many different types of lighting, and this green floor lamp caught my attention. I really think the next time, if it's in stock, the next time I go back to Ikea, I'm going to pick this up. I have 2 spaces in my home, well, probably more than 2, but 2 in particular that I think that would be so beautiful sitting in, and the color is just unique and different, and I really liked that lamp. In fact, I have a little bit of remorse that I did not pick it up on this trip, but that's okay. It's okay. It'll be there another time if it's meant to be. Hanging lights, I've used a lot of their hanging lampshades and hanging lights in different spaces in different homes that we've lived in. And they also have a huge variety of floor mirrors and mirrors that are larger. Of course, they have wall mirrors as well. Now, the end of the sort of warehouse area, display area that is my absolute favorite is their outdoor section. They have so many options when it comes to outdoor seating and outdoor flower pots and different things like that. And you all know that I am a plant person. I love outdoor spaces. You've seen me decorate and design quite a few outdoor spaces at this point. And so there's always so many little goodies in here that are unique. I love their little greenhouses and watering plants and pots. And again, most of this stuff is at such a good price point in comparison to many other places, including like Wayfair and Amazon. And just a little disclaimer, IKEA is not sponsoring this video at all. I just really appreciate it. And for most people, IKEA is a drive. There's usually about 1 or so in each state in the United States. And so I just want to show you that it might be worth the drive for you if you are looking for some of these things. And they do have live plants, I have to add that in, and lots of plant stands and little tables and things like that for outdoor spaces. All right, we are going back home, and I decided for today's video, instead of doing a haul and showing you everything I got at IKEA at once, I thought I would go ahead and just show you some IKEA hacks and how I'm going to be using each of these things in my home and some of the DIYs I'm going to be doing with these things. That's one thing about IKEA. A lot of their stuff is very neutral. It's very easy to customize it. You can paint many things. You can spray paint many things. You can add your personal touches to a lot of the basic pieces that IKEA has. And so that's why if you go on Pinterest and you look up IKEA hacks, you're going to come up with a massive results of many things you can do with their shelving, their cabinets, their furniture. There's so much you can do, and a lot of people have gotten so creative with what you can do with these pieces. So the first thing that I'm putting together here is this little drawer set. I will try to leave the names below of the different things I got at IKEA. I don't link this stuff because IKEA's shipping is outrageous for the most part, and a lot of their stuff is priced higher online than it is in store. So I just really recommend going to the store if you possibly can. It's usually not worth it to buy something and have it shipped to you online. So I moved the little drawer set up to the girls' closet. This is their closet. I haven't gotten a chance to paint this room yet, and it doesn't have a light in it. So I was working with this the best that I could. I put a lamp in there, and Just wanted to get everything cleaned up. This is a room in our house that definitely needs a repaint. It's got some interesting trim color choices, as you can see, and so that is a project that I'm hoping to work on soon. So my daughters were actually handing me their clothing and telling me whose was whose or who claimed. The girls are really close in sizes, so sometimes they kind of just claim one item of clothing as theirs. So they were just giving me those things and I was putting them into the drawers. I sat this light in here because, like I said, this does not have a light, but you can see all of the shelving that is up higher in this closet that I can use for extra storage. Probably not really related to the girls' clothing because we store off-season clothing under their bed in bins, but I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing with all of that space up there. And I'm super happy with how this looks. This really gives them the freedom to dress themselves and to put their clothing away, which they do. So up here, we just did all of their long sleeves, short sleeved things. Right now it's really cold weather, so layers are important. Jackets and sweaters and things like that. The one thing they were telling me that was really hard to get off of the hanger was their hoodies. So there is this funny little shelf right here, and we decided to put these 2 rope baskets here just to house their hoodies and things that are kind of bulky to put on a hanger. So that works out well. We could potentially put another shelf or 2 in here, but we'll see if we end up needing it. And then there's some extra hangers here on the side because this hanging shelf does go the whole way around. So if they needed the space, we could do that. And then the little drawer thing here is so perfect. It just slides so nice and easy. It's going to be very nice for them to put their own things away and be able to just get things in and out as they need to. And then to solve the smaller items in their wardrobe, I hung this shoe organizer, just picked it up from like Walmart or something. We just have an overnight tote here for if they're going to grandma's house or something like that. And then these are some little twinkle lights I'm hoping to put up in their room. I will show you the rest of their room and all of that probably at some point, just not in this video. And then the rest of this is used for socks and underclothing, and I'm not going to show that here, so we will put that in after I'm done filming this clip. Other than that, I'm very happy with it. The girls are thrilled with it. This has been such an issue. We literally had like a laundry basket in the bottom of this closet for their bottoms and like pants and things like that. So having this in here is so helpful, and it gives them more space in their room without a dresser. We may eventually do a dresser, but for now, this just works out just great for their needs. Next, we're moving into the kitchen to do a little hack, a little Ikea hack. So I believe that this is a plate rack, or that's what the description would be of this item, this wooden piece here. And I've been wanting some sort of way to store my cutting boards, but just haven't had anything. We've just been kind of putting them in this one cabinet, and I got this idea to take one of these and stick command strips on the bottom of it so that it holds it in place inside of my one cabinet. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you do this is how you place the rack, because you want to think about how the weight would be pulling on the command strip if it was on the wall, and that's the same direction whatever is getting pressure is getting pressed. So if they're all going to lean one way, you want to kind of go the opposite way with the command strips. And this just so happened to fit perfectly where I was hoping it would. It was one of those things, I picked it up, had the idea of what I wanted to do with it, and I didn't know if it would fit in this cabinet with my cookware, but it fit just so. It fit perfect. So I pressed the command strips down on the bottom of the cabinet. I did wash the cabinet first and then just stuck my cutting boards in, and they fit perfectly and they don't fall over and hit my cookware, which is why I wanted to do this. All right, friends, so I picked up 2 things that were related to my plant care. If you're totally new around here, I have a great love of indoor houseplants. So I'm always taking care of them and having little needs for them. So you may have saw this in the video, but I thought this was so cute. On one side, it actually has a 5 and an L for 5 liters. So I picked this up thinking that this is how the watering can is supposed to look. The handle's cute. It's got a little wooden handle here. It'd be great to water some of my larger houseplants around the house. And I thought, you know what, with a spout like this, it will pour more directly where I want it to instead of spraying water all over. Well, I picked it up, put it in my cart, went through the rest of my shopping, and never even realized that this is actually a part of it. At least I think. I kind of felt it and I was like, I think this is an end. So yes, it is an end. I will keep it in case I want to use it like this, but I kind of think I'm going to use it more like this with the spout like this. I thought it was adorable just like this, but apparently you can put this on as well and use it like that. But most of the time I'm like pouring, like my one in our homeschool room, it's a big Birds of Paradise, and I'm usually leaning over the chair trying to pour it in, and I just felt like I might more accurately hit my target if I have the spout on like this. But either way, so cute, very unusual for me to buy something blue. I usually lean towards greens, but I just for some reason was so drawn to this, and of course the fact that it's metal, loved that too. So this is probably just going to live in here with some of my big plants just sitting next to them. And then I picked up something that I've actually had before. Also, if the lighting is a little off today, it is snowing outside. It's just been a really foggy, cloudy, snowy day. But I've picked these up before. I got one of each size. I just think that they're so precious. They are made for plants. They have a great bottom in here. And if you are a plant person, you know the struggle is real when it comes to having pots with holes and drainage, and then also like a water dish that go with them and all that good stuff. I'm getting ready really soon to make a trip to my favorite indoor plant greenhouse, and that is Schmucker's Gardens. It's here in central Pennsylvania. It's a little dry for me, but I love going there. They have a coffee shop inside and so many different kinds of indoor plants. They have outdoor plants too during the season, but right now it would mainly be indoor plants with as cold as it is. So I'm thinking that I'm going to nestle these in with some of the plants I currently have, but these are intended for some new plants that I'm going to be picking up. Plants, coffee, and books are 3 of the things that I absolutely love in life. You all know that if you've been around for a while, and I just so enjoy this little space. If you guys want to see a video of how I redid this sunroom, I will leave that linked below, or you can head over to my channel to see how I did all of this, especially on a budget, did some thrifting and pulled it all together. And we use this space nonstop, and it's just something that we're loving, especially with it being colder months right now. So the next thing that I picked up was this little easel. I think I'm saying that right. An easel, and one side is a chalkboard, the other side is a dry erase board. And if you've been around for a number of years, I actually have had this before. It's something we had in our house that was in town, and the girls really loved it at the time, but then when we moved to the next house, that house was a whole lot smaller, and we just had no space to put something like this. And so I believe I donated it or something like that. So it was fun to pick it up again. Then I went to Walmart and I perused their little pre-cut fabric section. I didn't realize how large this was until I started walking around, picked up something that inspired me for February. It's sort of a muted plaid pink red color, and we are in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, and so one thing that we are working on is spelling the months of the year. So I decided, you know what, I think every month I'm going to make a little fabric banner to hang on this easel
to remember how to spell each month and to just remind us what month we're in. And I can swap out the fabric and kind of make it a little bit festive. I'm not normally somebody that does a lot of seasonal decor, and so this was just a fun way to add it to our schoolroom. And then I also picked up these fabric markers, which I had very low expectations for, and they are really great. The one is a brush marker, so that works so well for lettering, and I was able to just put this all right onto the fabric. No muss, no fuss. It was so simple, and just pull my banner together on some jute. I know, I'm saying this right, I think. The last time I said jut in a video and somebody commented and said, I had no idea what you were talking about until I realized you're talking about jute string. So let me know in the comments. Do you say jut or do you say jute? Am I the only one? So I strung that all up and just tied it to our little easel, and I'm really excited to have this, especially in the grades that we're in. I know that it's something we're going to use a lot, particularly the dry erase side, just for math and spelling, and it gives the girls a chance to stand up to do those things instead of sitting down, just some movement as we're going through our school day. Okay, so you might have remembered these spray bottles in store. I did grab 2 of them. I have had so many reusable spray bottles through the years, and honestly, at some point, they pretty much give out somewhere. I think that there's a reason that they are disposable for the most part when cleaning products come in them, but I've even had glass ones, and the sprayer usually gives out at some point. And so we needed a fresh set. I decided to go ahead and pick up these. I thought that the handles were a unique, really pretty green color. I pulled out my Cricut. I was considering doing a bit more of an in-depth Cricut tour of how the Cricut works in this video. Decided to go a little bit more vague with it, but if that's something you would be interested in seeing in a video sometime soon, if you're thinking about investing in a Cricut, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear if that's something that interests my viewers. But I just printed out on vinyl, or cut out on vinyl, a multi-purpose basically cleaner label and then a glass cleaner label for these. But isn't that green pretty? And they seem like they're gonna work really well. They spray, the sprayer looks like it's pretty good and should last us a little while. The next thing I grabbed were these cork trivets or pot holders, whatever you like to call them. And I picked up at Walmart a wood burner. This has been something in the back of my mind, my DIY mind, that I've wanted to learn how to do and play around with. So I've seen some really cool ideas on Pinterest that you can do with wood burners and trivets, and Ikea's trivets. These cork trivets are super inexpensive. So the wood burner came with some tips, and then it also came with a metal holder for the table, but I just decided to get out a ceramic mug. I felt like that would probably be a little safer than the little wire holder that came with it. So I just set this up, you turn it on, you let it heat up for about 5 minutes or so, and then I pulled out some inspiration from Pinterest and just started doodling. This was so fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was just like a huge stress reliever to do this little DIY. It was really, really fun, and I definitely want to start playing around with this wood burner. It was like $10 at Walmart, and there's so much you can do with them. So I just doodled on the trivet, and I didn't use any other end. This is supposed to be the universal end, or piece, or whatever you would call it, the little part on the end of the wood burner. And I just had fun doodling different things. I did some wildflowers on the one. On the next one, I did a laundry line, and my daughters were actually standing off to the side watching me do this because it was even fun to just watch, and they were rooting for me to put some underclothing on the laundry line. So there's something on there, you can see it. But just super cool, and you can't really see it in these clips, but there is a little bit of like smoke coming off of the cork because it is being burnt, and that's how it's being kind of engraved like this. So I hope this video inspired you guys. I hope that you subscribe if you're new. This was kind of fun, a little bit of home organization, a little bit of home decor, and just tagging along with me in some DIY projects. Don't forget to check out my channel and all of the videos that are there, and I will see you guys in my next video.